have been here since you've started the program. And I really appreciate that because it is about the connections. It's about staying with people of the same mind, so that way that you can feel support. You can feel a little bit stronger than you are, because it's enough to get up every day to try to eat healthy. Some people it's no problem. Some people it can be a little bit harder. So, but tonight I also wanted to touch on stress, because I know we're coming into a very stressful time of the year, and we may not want to see it as stress. But how many people do you know around this time of the year get sick? Yeah. And what do you think causes that? Do you think it's because the list of the to-do things that we've got to get done?
Change of season and that.
Change of season. I know we've had a little bit of, different temperatures here, and I know she's going the holistic route, so she's got her little neti pot out, and she's been having a good time with that, I think, but still.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to tell you Nancy has no voice. She just texted me, so.
Okay. Oh, so that's okay. But anyway, so, there again, I really thought it would be good if we can, like I said, I asked Brian and Amy on the spur of the moment, because I'm really, really, really excited about these two. And I know they are, and I know everybody on this screen is too, because they've been able to watch Brian and Amy from day one, and they feel like they're part of our family. They are part of our family. So, Brian and Amy, this starts actually tomorrow will complete your 8th week. Is that right? 8th week on the program. So, if you will, I would like for y'all to share a little bit more about why you made the decision to do this, and each of you both, and then basically what your thoughts were going into the program before, and then I'll ask some more questions, and everybody else can have questions for them too. So, why did you make the decision to begin this journey? Either one of y'all can go.
Go first.
Okay. My why is because when I was 29, I was diagnosed with MAS, and I know that the weight that I was carrying around, the excess weight, is not good for your joints, and that was why that I wanted to, be not confined to a wheelchair when I'm young. I want to be able to get out and do things and stuff. And, I want a better life than that. So that was that's my why.
It's a good why. What about yours, Brian?
My why was, I know mine is kind of weird, but I just had this, I've been big. I've not been big all my life. When I was a teenager and going to school, college, I wore size 30, 31 pants. We was talking about it today. People make fun of me for being scrawny, being skinny, tall and thin. It seemed like when we got married, I just kept putting weight on and weight on. Then one day I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I've let myself get this big. And that's what mine started out like that. But it ended up where right before I got on this diet, I've tried all kinds of diets. I've been on any diet you could say. I guarantee you I've been on it. Even where I give myself, what was it? HG shots in the stomach every morning, and a strict 1,000 calorie diet. I've been on all of them. But I got this feeling where I just felt like that. I don't know if anybody's ever felt like this, but I felt like that I'm not going to live much longer. And I really felt it. I started having dreams about it. And I even, in a kind of a roundabout way, started making plans for Amy and Jake if I wasn't here. And it just kept bothering me. And I know Danny, and I met Danny a couple of times then when we started working together, and I kind of talked to him about it. And he said it kind of reminded him of his situation, that he was in really bad health and at the end of his rope, and he said he had to do something, but he didn't really know what he's going to do. and he met I think it was Mr. Bell,
Dan.
and he said it changed his life. And I said, I that's where I'm at. That if I don't do something, I just got this glooming feeling that I'm not going to be around. I mean, I was getting where just my sleep apnea is getting so bad. I don't even like to drive no more. I caught myself isolating myself where I didn't want to go to not just friend functions, even family functions, even not, paying your respect at a funeral home. I didn't want to go because it just, I don't know. It just seemed like that the more people seen you, and they'd remind you how you let yourself go and stuff like that. But, when you start having dreams about your health and your life, there's a problem, because most time there's a big reason for that. The doctor had come in, I went and seen the doctor, and we done my yearly thing and everything. And he come in and he put his hand on my shoulder, and saying, we're going to have to get your weight under control, or, you're not going to live much longer. And, stuff like that, that makes it real. It ain't a diet no more. Now it's life. Right? Am I going to be able to live? And that was my why. He thought maybe that I need to look into maybe some of the surgeries and stuff like that. And I did go to one of the clinics where, they talk about the gastric or the sleeve or something like that. But to me, it just seems so final, and it's so drastic to your body what they do to you. I mean, your body don't absorb no more, nothing. And you even have to, it hurts your immune system. And I just kept thinking to myself, surely I can do this naturally. Surely I can find something out there that I can lose this weight and not have to go through all these big changes. And plus you hear all these big, scary stories about the surgery. I had a cousin that had it, and she, I bet she didn't live about a year after it, which it was something different, but I still have a feeling that it had something to do with it. So it kind of makes me scared of the surgeries and stuff. And I thought if there was some way I could do it naturally, be natural and it stay off and live healthy and not, make me not just thin, but healthy. That's, I told Amy, I said, I wouldn't even care to be chubby as long as I'm healthy. That little goals, but that's where I was at. And that's why I just come to the, this is it. This has got to be it. I've got to do it. There ain't no choice. And, when you're put in a position like that, it's like live or die. Which one you want?
And two, we had a real bad car wreck in August. And that kind of gets you into a thing that, hey, and that's how quick you can be here one day and be gone the next.
I agree.
So and we both talked about it. We kind of seen Danny one morning, and he talked to us about it. And he said, "You need to talk to Lisa about it." And I kind of hesitated because I don't know why I hesitated, because I was kind of nervous about it. And anyway, finally we made that phone call. You called us back, and I said, she called us back. What are we going to do now?
I think I remember I called you guys and left a message.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he said, have you called them? And I said, yeah. And I said, I got their voicemail. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, you've done your part. So we just sort of, that's how the thing is, because you don't like to try to.
Exactly. It took us a week to call you back. But I remember, because I'm like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And, it's all that was pep talk. Mm-hmm. And then when you called back, you said, well, are y'all ready? And we're like, we're ready. We're ready to go. Yeah. So ever since then, we've been motivated, and we're doing it, so it's working, and it's exactly what we were looking for. It's easy to do. We can stay on schedule and still work, and we're real busy running around everywhere. Doing 2 or 3 jobs. I do this real estate, and then trying to get into auctions and work for the VA. So I mean, we're everywhere all the time, and a shake's easy to make and take it with us and grab a candy bar or whatever we got to do.
I like that. Grab a candy bar.
Yeah,
that's our candy bar.
Yeah,
chocolate.
Oh,
When I say that,
they're great. They're eating candy bars.
that's what at work there's like, I don't say you lose weight eating those candy bars.
I love it. I love it.
Well, but that's our deal.
Well, I know. Okay, we got several people on here tonight, and I want all of us that's on here, think about the questions that you could ask Brian and Amy, because there again, this is all about being transparent, being real. And I know for me personally, I'm going to start out with the question, and whoever else has a question can. So, Brian and Amy, has there ever been a time in this 7 weeks that you've ever just wanted to say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore?
No. Even the cruise was hard, but we never said we're done with it.
No.
Isn't that amazing, guys? I mean, to think about, to be this 7 weeks, 8 weeks tomorrow, and they've never had that thought. So I'm always curious because, I think some of us sometimes get that like, dang, it's just so exhausting. And I'm just, it's just too hard. But yet I think for me, what I've seen in you guys, you've always kept your why real close to your heart. So that's the question I wanted to ask. So does anybody else have a question for Brian and Amy? Okay, Katie.
You said you tried all different plans. So what is making this one so much different? Or why is this one, do you think, working for you?
I think it's because I think for one thing that it's making it a lot easier is Amy, we're both on it. We're both kind of keep each other in check and stuff like that. But as far as the diet goes, I think it's because it's convenient.
Yeah.
You don't have to add nothing up. You don't have to worry about your points. The first time we ever had a coach, that's awesome. I mean, sometimes Lisa gets through talking to us, I'm like, woo, well, I feel good. It makes you do. It makes you go, you're good, Brian.
There you go. You are.
He's convinced
Both
us.
are. I'm telling you.
I mean, really, that is awesome. And I've never had been on a diet where somebody followed up with you. I mean, you'd always like, even Weight Watchers, you'd go to a class like once a week, and you stood on a scale in front of everybody. So that made you, that made you, what's the word I'm looking for?
Accountable.
Yeah. Accountable for what you've done that week, but still not, I don't know, even like when even like this last few weeks, our weight loss hadn't been that much. It's like 2 or 3 pounds in a week. And I'm like, are we doing something wrong? It was working really good. And then all of a sudden we dropped off, and then it makes you question, are we doing something? What have we done wrong? And then, Amy, said, hey, Lisa, we're going down to like 2 pounds a week or 3 pounds a week. I feel like we're plateauing. Is that normal? And she's like, hey, you've just started to go into where your skin and stuff is coming back, and it's part of the diet, and you're stay on course. You're good. You're out of fat burning, and now you're going into like maybe the skin and your inch loss. I think is what she called it.
Yeah. You're shrinking. You got to do that. Yeah.
And she said it's part of it. And, in the beginning, I always thought about that because it was hard for me to believe that, I could lose weight and not have some kind of skin removal, from all this. I mean, really, it makes you go, and everybody's on the diet so far says, it's the way it does. It's slow. And so maybe that's the process. But we did, and believe me, it ain't been easy. I mean, we've never said we're done, but I mean, like some of your lean greens is it started to get old, green beans all the time, and salads. And that's my thing. The food gets boring, not necessarily the MetaFast. It was more of our lean green.
It kind of gets the same thing. You can only have.
Right. And Amy started getting on some of the websites and talking to you guys, and she had made us a taco salad one night, and she's changing up a little bit more, but I could see how that part kind of gets old.
Yeah.
And I even got there at the end, said, I'd rather have a little bowl of cereal than that old hamburger steak, you eat that hamburger so many times. So
there you go. And you know, of course, I know Pinterest has a lot of leafy greens. I know, like I said, having Hannah home, she's really been able to be creative with some of the leafy greens. You're like, dang, even her salads taste better than mine. I'm like, dang. So there again, it's like being a little bit more creative and finding other things. I know, like, you know, we're a big fan of lasagna, you know, zucchini lasagna, things like that, spaghetti, using spaghetti squash. There's just a lot of different things. Hannah's got me hooked on this chicken stuff now, where she does she uses light Parmesan. No, light Caesar dressing in it, Hannah. And she does this concoction, and I'm like, if you was to put some spaghetti squash in there, you would have fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh.
Big time. So, and then of course I wore Danny out because I've been doing that a lot. And he told Hannah the other day, he said, "Man, your mom wore me out like chicken." I don't care. I like it. But anyway, it's good to get creative, and if you do get bored, step outside and try some things. It's easy. So go ahead, Katie.
I'm gonna ask for Nancy. She wants to know, are people complimenting you guys?
Yes.
Are people noticing?
So Amy's got more compliments than me. She's I guess it'd probably scare me if somebody complimented me, but there is this one guy at work that every time he sees me, he says, "Looking good, Brian." You know, and every time I see him, I kind of start looking for him.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does really feel good. But sometimes I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I still. I mean, I've just lost a little bit. I mean, compared to where I got to go, but I don't know. Sometimes you don't feel like you've really lost any, or you get discouraged, or I mean, it's like I lost 3 pounds, and I'm like, feel fatter than ever. That's what I'll say, something like that. But I've noticed in my clothes and stuff that I'm losing. So,
And you know what I told Brian? I said, Brian, why don't you go to the grocery store, pick you up a 50-pound bag of dog food, throw that on your shoulder? Because he's almost 50 pounds. And I said, carry that around. I said, that's what you was carrying around before you started this program. And then, you don't think about those kinds of things, but that's the reality of this. It's like right now, if you was to carry that around, it would make you very tired. So that it's just hard sometimes to see where we've been and where we're at now. So we need those little reminders, like go throw that up on your shoulder and see what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So who else has a question for Brian and Amy?
I do. Amy, with your, you said that you were diagnosed with MS, correct?
Yes.
How have you noticed any different with your symptoms from that, with your joints and whatnot?
Yes, a lot. It seems like my main thing whenever I was diagnosed and I wasn't on the program was my fatigue. I mean, I was tired I could sleep 12 hours at night and get up and feel like I hadn't even slept. My fatigue was so bad. But now I can tell, I guess, since I'm feeling my body every 3 hours and getting everything that I need, then I can tell a difference in the energy level and even the pains in my legs and stuff ain't as bad as they were. I can tell a big difference in that.
Wow. That's awesome. So Debbie?
I was just going to ask them about their lean and green. I know for me, if I like to make it not so green looking, and I was wondering if you have tried adding some of those wonderful little sweet peppers that they sell in the store in yellow and orange and red, and you can slice those up. And in fact, I just did some tonight and roasted them in the oven. Let me see if I can find them. And I put them in with zucchini squash, green and yellow squash. So this is for tomorrow night. I have some left over, but see how pretty it looks on your plate. you know, it adds it up so it's not just a green bean laying there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can and I like to roast them on a cookie sheet in the oven, but we also have something that we bought quite a while back. It's called a Big Boss cooker. You can get them on Amazon or Walmart, and it's like oil-free cooking, so it does a wonderful job with your meats. You can cook chicken or salmon in there, and it keeps it juicy and not all dried out and hard and so lean-like. So even though you're cooking maybe a tenderloin chicken breast, little pieces or something like that, it'll come out really good in them. So it just might be something you might consider as different ways of cooking, and it makes it fast. And you can take frozen chicken and cook it in there without even thawing it, and it'll cook it perfectly all the way through. So we're both still working. And so I know we've said, my husband told me, he says, I love the way we eat now because it's just so quick, but we're eating better. And so just some things I just thought I might suggest to you is to add a little color to your meal. Maybe you're doing that, but it's just my suggestion. By adding some summer squash, the yellow, the green, the red, peppers. And then you might check into one of those Big Boss cookers. It's a clear glass countertop thing you set on your stove. And they run about $99, but we use it constantly. I can show it to you just a minute. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And it cooks by infrared cooking. Here's the control dials on it. You can set a temperature on it. I should be in sales. I sell more of these.
So what do you do with that?
Okay, so you put it has a little rack in here. Wait a minute, I'll get the rack.
I have to look into that, Brian.
It has a little rack, and you put your meat in it. It's actually a little basket. I guess that's still in the sink. Then you put this lid on top of there, and you set the dial on, and it cooks it by infrared cooking, and cooks it different things. It cooks it like a light comes on and shines on it. But you can cook a frozen lean pork chop in there in 20 minutes to perfection.
Wow.
And you don't have to add. You're not, and it says you can do French fries. I cook the peppers in there sometime too when I don't want to turn the oven on. It just depends. Like sometimes I'll do for the whole week. So I do a big thing in the oven. But if I'm just doing for the night, I'll put the peppers right in there with the chicken. And I'm really loving this lemon olive oil I buy from Fustini's. I guess some other people make them. Somebody had said one time too. But a little bit of that Fustini's lemon oil sprayed in there. Sometimes a little lemon pepper on your chicken and your sweet peppers like that. It just makes it colorful, makes you happier, to have that color than to just sit down to something white and green.
Yeah.
You don't want that all the time. Yeah. Yeah. So just some suggestions for you. And Amy, I'm familiar with MS. My husband has MS on his side in the family. I was just curious, by any chance, did you grow up near a gas station?
No.
Okay. All right. Just wondering.
Not close.
Okay. My husband's family, they grew up, their family ran a gas station. We just found a connection with that. So I was always curious when I meet somebody with MS, if there was any connection that you were near, because we know some other ones. So just kind of learning about it. So I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
Curiosity. So, well, good luck to you. I know that's a difficult thing to deal with, but.
The one day at a time. That's all you do.
Yeah, well, you're doing the right thing. This is a great program. And Brian, did you lose 50 pounds? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I think it's a little more than 50.
Well, that's a ton. I mean, you should be so proud of yourself. That's
I don't know. I got so far to go. It's hard to get too proud about it.
But you just think where you're going to be by next July. I just told that somebody today. Just think where you're going to be by July.
If I lose 100, y'all won't be able to stand me.
Hey, you're halfway there.
Yeah.
50 pounds is tremendous. I am so happy for you. That's just great. Yeah, you should be really proud of that. That's not a teeny bit. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Brian, look at it this way. You've lost a toddler.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is. It's sometimes it's, you know, we can focus on, like you said, it's like, man, I've got, so it's like trying to get to somebody, but it's like, if you're in the creative mode, and that creative side of our brain is where we're the happiest. So if you're focusing on every day, like, woo, 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 you know, and every day you're just sort of feeding yourself like, man, this is what, look what I'm doing now, that are the non-scale victories, but your scales just, it's, you know, it's kind of, it's moving. So it's being able to really recognize what it is that you're in that creative process of what you're creating through this whole journey. And you know what? Whenever you get 100 pounds off, Brian, you go, well, I mean, I got 100, but you know, I mean,
I need 100 more.
exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just, you know, like I said, I just think it's amazing what you guys have done in a short period of time. So does anybody else have a question to ask Brian and Amy? Hannah?
Have you noticed that your goals have changed since you started the program?
Like what? Like what do you mean?
Like the possibilities now.
Oh yes. Like we, I don't know, just doing stuff that we wouldn't normally do. Like we're talking about flying back to Jamaica and go hiking. I mean, we're not hiking people. But Amy's like, I would love it.
And
But
I can tell on our cruise that we done a lot more things than we done one in 2013, and we kind of like hang out in the room and like
take a nap. We didn't want to take naps.
You know,
we wanted to.
I wanted to go and see stuff. I mean, we were everywhere, and that's just not the norm for us.
Yeah.
We're kind of lazy, and we was different. I can tell a difference this time.
Yeah. We wasn't hanging out by the ice cream machine.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to talk for Jo a minute. She sent me a message. Apparently she can't talk through her microphone tonight. You better not still be at work, Jo. You better go home. But she said, Brian, she wanted to tell you that you lost 200 sticks of butter.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. She was,
That's a lot of butter.
she's always telling me how much butter she's lost. So she wanted you to know you lost 200 sticks of butter. That's great.
Wow.
I watched that thing about on laces the other day, and she was talking about that fat that she got. You know, that it was like that piece of fat.
Yes.
And you could just imagine it when you seen it. You know.
Yes.
I watched her video on that the other day, and I was like, you know, that just showed you how much weight that you had lost, you know, just seeing it.
Makes it real.
1 pound is really a good chunk. You know, you think 1 pound, but we go, oh, it's 1 pound. But if you look at that, what that 1 pound, it's a lot. So yeah, every little bit counts. And especially if you're having to knock holes in your belt, men especially, a lot of the men that I coach, they'll say, I'm down to my last hole. I've just knocked my last hole, and then I'm going to have to go get a new belt. So, you know, that's exciting, you know, the non-scale victories.
Yeah.
So
You can go take dance lessons. That's what we're doing. We're taking ballroom dancing. We're living the hustle right now.
Oh.
They had some salsa lessons on the boat, and Amy was out there. Yeah.
There you go. Because you can move now, Brian. You got it going.
that's it. Something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions they want to ask Brian and Amy? Because I think it's tremendous what they've been, and I love the couples thing. I know we've been, you know, I really think it's great whenever a husband and wife can get on this program together and be as supportive and not, you know, not be, because everything I've seen from these two, they've been very supportive with each other. You know, it's like there's never been that time where you feel like you just want to throw something at each other and say, you know, I don't want to do this. Y'all been very complimentary to each other through the process. So in couples, it's a great thing for couples to get healthy. So
It really is. But I don't know, even Jake's kind of, You know, when we first started, he's like, y'all are starving me to death. If y'all don't know, we got a baby. He's 22. Lives on our living room couch. But he's like, y'all are starving me to death. You know, because he's used to going out and eating and this and that. And
He's lost 7, I'd say more. The last time he weighed, he lost 7 pounds.
And that was just by us, you know, eating with us. So
wow. So it's unreal whenever you're a habit, you know, what you're doing and being mindful and those kind of things. I know a lot of spouses have lost weight when they're you know, like a husband will lose if their wife gets on the program because they're eating a lean and green. They're not eating all the bread or, you know, the carbs that they've been used to having. So yeah, it's amazing how that works.
yeah.
So so does anybody else have anything to ask Brian and Amy? Debbie, are you fixing to have to go?
Yeah, bedtime.
Bedtime. Well, it's so great having you on. So thank you so much and thank you for the question.
Night, night.
All right. Have a good night.
Me too, guys. I gotta go too. So
Okay. Well, thanks for being on, Becky. Thanks for the questions and so fast.
I'm glad I was able to make it this week.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see your smiling face. We miss you.
Well, I've missed you guys too. And I do want to ask Brian one more question. This has nothing to do with Take Shape for Life. Did you say you work for the VA?
I do. I do their foreclosures.
Oh, okay. Okay. I work for the VA as well. That's why I was asking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have something in common. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, y'all have a good night, and we will see you the coaches Thursday, because we'll be on there with Dan Bell. So everybody wants to, you know, everybody needs to be there so that way we can pick his little brain. All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right, sweetie, you too.
Good night.
Good night.
So I wanted to touch on, like, before we close, I wanted to touch on a little bit about stress. You know, we've got this holiday season coming up. Most people are stressed out. I did share today, I don't know if you know, some of you guys are doing the challenge, some of you are not, but I thought it was so neat, the little 1-minute video today about, you know, there's like you got 3 choices of what it is that you want to, you know, create through the holidays. And so I've been sending that little video out to a lot of people that goes, oh no, you know, the holidays is coming up and, you know, and I'm just trying to, so I send that to them because basically you know, we're the ones that's in control of what it is we're trying to create. So we have to be mindful of, number one, make a decision. What is it I want to create? And 99.9% of the time, if you decide and you make a decision what you're going to do, chances are you will follow through with it. But if you go into it blindsided and you're out here floating around in the wind, chances are you're going to be lost in space. And then you have to gather yourself back up and find some kind of clarity. So with the stress, what are all you doing to manage stress through a very stressful time of the year? Because it's, you know, stress, you can never eliminate stress. Stress will always be there, but we can learn to manage it. So what's some little ideas we can share with one another about how we can maybe manage stress a little bit, reduce it just a little bit?
Something that I will do, especially this time of year, it's our busy season at work, where I feel like I'm nonstop from 8 in the morning till 5 at night with a lot of highs and lows because it's sales. So especially when, you know, something extra stressful spikes and gets me, that's when I instantly recognize it, just pay attention for it, so then I can take myself and in my mind just kind of talk myself through it and just take a minute to myself where just trying to be as positive as possible, reminding myself that it's not a big deal, it's going to be okay, these are part of the job, and that I need to remember to focus on the positive things because those are the things that are going to keep me feeling better. So it's just a simple, quick minute to myself. I'll sit at my desk and it's just conversation in my head of, it's okay, it's going to be good, and couple deep breaths, and on to the next thing.
So Alyssa, do you have a reminder sitting somewhere to remind you of those things, or have you already got that programmed in your mind that it's just a natural habit that you go to whenever you feel the stress?
Well, originally it's a natural habit at this point, but there's actually an app, or you can even just set a timer where every single hour it would send just a note, or it'll play music. And that's when I remind myself that this is kind of cheesy, but I went to a place called Peace Village, and that's where I learned it. And they say, to remind yourself that you're a peaceful soul. It's all about spirituality. So I just take that moment to remember that I am a peaceful soul, and that, I'm a positive person and a positive being, and that I don't want my ego to get in the way and my stress to get in the way.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's good. I mean, because there again, it's, first of all, we've got to have the reminder, I think, and I like that, like every hour, because I think sometimes we can be so robotic that we get lost sometimes. So that's a great idea to have that as like a little hour reminder, just to sort of bring you back to the clarity and, of what it is there, of the spirit part of us, of who we really are, to really tap into that at all times versus losing that part of us. So that's neat. Thank you for sharing that. So what else? Has anybody else got anything that, through the holidays, maybe they've already planned ahead to be able to manage stress that we're going through?
Me and Amy's planned on where we're not going to plan nothing. We've talked about it. You know how you plan all this stuff for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and this, and dinner, families coming over, we're just going to play it. Whatever happens, happens. We're going to try to get away. We're a little bit lucky. Jake's older. We don't have the Santa Claus and all that stuff to go through. So that's kind of a little better. We're going to try to get away, relax. This is going to be our best Christmas ever, because we're not going to get tied up with everything. Her mom's not going to do Thanksgiving this year, so we only got one to go to. We're going to skip through that, do our Lean and Green, and we're just going to play it, cool. We're not doing Black Friday. We're not doing, all of it. We're just going to chill out and enjoy it and try to get away. Maybe don't necessarily want to go to Gatlinburg, maybe Chattanooga, somewhere to get away from everybody, spend time for ourselves, and maybe go to a show or something in Nashville or something. We're just going to do stuff that we want to do. We're not going to get tied up with everybody else's plans. We've already talked about it. We've decided this is the way we're going to do it this year. We're not going to get stuck on presents and who wants what. Am I going to get a Vera Bradley? We're not going to
pick my own purse out.
There you go.
And I'm sitting there and I'll pay for it.
There you go.
We're just not going to get tied up in all that stuff this year. And that's kind of, we talked about it, just like our diet stuff. We talked it out before we got there. So I think that if we stay on plan, we should have the best Christmas ever. So
I love it. See, it's planning ahead. Planning ahead is what it's all about. So it sounds like you guys are going to. What's that?
Kill that stress before it gets there.
There you go. So isn't it amazing how we create this monster of stress? So, and something that I've been talking to several people this week is, most people don't even realize they have a choice. Oh, you mean I don't have to participate, or I don't have to be stressed out, or most people don't even know they have a choice. So the job is, it's like everybody on here everybody's becoming awakened that they have a choice. They're awakened to what's my options. They're awakened to that I can create the happiness and the joy and everything in it without the chaos of it all. So that's really neat. And I'm excited about this, because the thing is most people after the end, after Christmas, people start thinking I've got to do something. And that's whenever, it's such a like a routine. It's all about commercials, getting people to feel guilty like they need to do something. And we know that with this, we're actually creating the life that we want, and it's created around what matters most to us. So I'm excited for everyone on here, and I really do appreciate you all getting on here, sharing these things. Brian and Amy, thank you so much tonight for sharing your story, because hey, it's only just beginning, and in just 8 weeks, it's been major transformational. And like I said, can you imagine yourself in 8 more weeks where you'll be then?
I can't wait.
I know, it's like it's something to look forward to. So does anybody else have anything we want to share before we close? Has it been great hearing Brian and Amy's story?
I feel like maybe y'all are getting tired of hearing it.
Well, the thing is we got to really see like a little bit more. I mean, because there was a lot of them didn't even know like your why, you know, and there again, and you'll see that your story will change it's like, you know, like my story is different now than it was whenever I began. Because like Hannah was asking, do you ever see yourself now? There's possibilities, and once you achieve those possibilities, you don't stay stuck there. You go, oh, if that happened there, then let me open this door and see what's behind door number 2, you know. So always dream. Keep your dreaming machine on. You guys are learning how to kick the blinders off to see everything as beautiful as what it is, but yet you are creating who the character wants to be in this role of life, where you both can have life and be together and enjoy, you know, the things that you want to enjoy, because you're too young, you know, whenever you're young. But it doesn't matter. Even if you were 70 years old, you still have a choice, or 80 years old, you still have a choice in creating health. So with that, thanks everyone for being on.
Ocean himself is like a stress reliever, isn't he?
Oh no, he just so sweet. He not seen me before. I love you, baby. Oh, had to come get some kisses. Oh, I just love it. He goes, I know that silly woman. He goes, come see me. Well, guys, listen, thanks everyone again. I hope everybody has a good night's rest. Nancy, I hope you get your voice back.
We appreciate everybody's support too. I mean, we really do. I told Amy, Zoom is like our little therapy session.
It is, isn't it?
It's all out, so
it is.
We appreciate it.
Too. I know everybody else. So yeah, we're all growing and learning, and it never ends. You just once you get a taste of it, you just can't get enough. You just want more.
That was like our first Thanksgiving dinner that we had to call Lisa and said, oh, we made it through our lean and green at Outback Steakhouse.
That was Outback Steakhouse. And it's like they didn't eat the bread. And what was the cake that y'all said that they had?
Yeah, chocolate thunder under or something like that.
Yeah. And Brian after they got in the car, Brian said, Amy, call Lisa, get her on the phone. They were able to stick with their lean and green, and you know, I mean, they're serious about this. I mean, it's like competing. They are like, we will make it to the finish line. Watch us. I loved it that they called and celebrated that with me. You know, because that's huge. Most people I said would have had the blooming onion or something.
Oh, they passed it around.
Passed it around right in front of us and all that.
Yeah, here. You know, I mean, that's pretty amazing what you guys were able to accomplish. So I knew you would.
Like difference in food too now. Like food just ain't, I don't know, it used to be like celebration and all this, and
get excited
about it, and I can tell a difference. Like if you eat a little something that's not on your protocol, and it's like that is not even like I remembered it.
I know.
It's the same. It's like, ugh.
Yes,
I was eating.
I agree.
You just got to do it to know, hey, what was I putting in my body? And I've done it. I was like, hey, I'm going to try this. And I'm like, that don't even taste right.
Yeah. It's like you're so disappointed. You're like,
yeah.
I mean, what's up with that? Used to I could devour the whole pizza or something. Now you're like, but yeah, totally understand. But yeah, we all are at the finish line, and we're not at the finish line because we've already found another path. But we're here going, hey, Brian and Amy, keep coming. So that's what this is all about, is being able to just be there along someone through the journey, because it is exciting. And we just want to tell you both that we're proud of what you're doing. So keep it up. I love your ideas, what you're going to do through the holidays. And there again, that is part of your brand. That's your story. So as you're looking amongst everybody else while they're kicked back and their guts are all blowed out where they beat up, they're all, just like, I know I used to feel like that too, but I'm not going there anymore because I know I've got a choice. So,
Yep.
But, well, listen, I hope everybody has a great night. Thanks for being on, and we'll see everyone next Tuesday, because next Thursday is Thanksgiving, and we can just sort of at least get a little bit of extra positive stuff before we go into it. We may not have to be on as long, just to say hello to everybody, but everybody have a good night's rest, and coaches, will see everybody on Thursday with Dan.
Okay.
All right, Katie, are you and Elisa, are we going to all stay on here?
I think, yes.
Okay.
Can we stay on, or do I?
I think everybody else exits. I
just need 1 minute.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Finance.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I thought it would be cool if we could. Well, here, let me